Okay, we need to set up a little preliminary drawing before I actually do the coil winding. There's a few things that we need to look at. This is the compass rose of that Sportster alternator. This would be your A phase, your B phase, and your C phase. I'm going to only show one phase winding. The rest of them would be a repeat of it. But there's a couple of things I want to point out, very important. You're going to have an ending coil termination and a beginning coil termination. I have chosen either the plus or A to represent the lead coming off the outside of the coil layer, and I've chosen the minus or the B to equal the lead coming off the inside of the coil layer that's next to the form. You can call it whatever you want, Peter, Paul, Mary, Frank, Jane, whatever. And the wire that the Sportster uses is a .060 or a 15 AWG magnet wire. Now, it's very important that when you start winding these things, that all the coils are wound identical. If you get one of them backwards, you're going to interfere with the AC waveform. Instead of getting an addition, you're going to get a subtraction plus a bunch of hash in the final output. Now, the way this is wound off, we start off with the A, which would be the lead coming off the outside of the coil. You would come all the way over to the second termination for the first phase or the A phase, and we go to the inside of the coil next to the form, which would be the B. Now once that's wound off, you come out of the outside coil termination and you come all the way over to the second one or the third of that phase, and it'd be a repeat. It goes to the inside coil layer, it's wound, it comes off the outside coil layer, it comes back over to the third or fourth coil, depending on how you want to count it. It repeats the same, comes to the inside next to the form and terminates off to the outside to the ending coil termination. It doesn't matter, you can call whichever one you want. You can actually wind it the same way, but reverse these AB, as long as all these coils are wound exactly the same. Now, there are different magnet wire installations, so you must be particularly careful on what type that you buy. This is a piece of the original wire off that Sportster, and this is a piece of magnet wire that I will be using to wind this coil for three-phase. It comes in different heat grades, different types of insulation for different types of environment. So as a cure-all, just plan for the worst environment you can get and you can't go wrong. Once again, this is the Harley alternator coil form from a Sportster. This time I'm going to wind this thing for a three-phase. Once again, you need to mark one pole to orientate yourself to the hole in the primary case where the wiring must pass through. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start winding the coil. I'm only going to go halfway to save time. But just as in the single phase video I made, we're going to wind the wire around this coil pole, keeping your wire as tight as you can. Remember, there's 4 layers of this magnet wire on each pole. You got one up, one down, one up, one down. Okay, I've come to the bottom. This is considering the starting end. This is considering the ending end. You can reverse it if you want. But the next one you gotta wind has gotta go from the ending to the starting. So I'm going to come 2 poles over. I'm going to cross over like here. And then since I started winding clockwise, I must do the same thing here. I must wind this thing clockwise. Remember to pick the correct magnet wire for the environment in which you're going to subject it to. I personally will go with the most harshest insulation I can find. When I wind this with my copper wire, this little segment here, I will be putting a glass sleeve across this just to give it a little extra protection from chafing. You can get those at appliance stores that handle wiring for ovens. Now the next one you would jump over the same way. For the next pole you skip 2 and you would do the same thing. Since I went clockwise, I must go clockwise again. And this goes all the way around. You come over, do the same thing here, and then your termination comes out right here. This would be your ending termination, and this would be your starting termination. You would wind every last one of them the same way. Now, after you get this all wound out, the ending terminations, or you can do the beginning terminations, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to do the ending terminations. I'm going to crimp these all together, but make sure you have good electrical contact. I'm going to crimp them all together. That's going to be the center point of the Y configuration. The 3 wires that's sticking out, those are going to go to a 3-phase diode block, and from there to a regulator. So just remember, keep everything wound the exact same way. It doesn't matter which way you start, but make sure every last coil is wound the exact same way, or you will have problems with the output.